What's up, y'all? This is Pure Uncut Lakers. So, after two really good wins against Houston, and let's face it, it's really more like three really good wins. Denver, then Houston, then Houston. We play Miami tonight, second night of a back-to-back. And a lot of you guys are on this, well, should we just rest our guys? Should we, you almost expect a loss. And this is one of the most interesting games of the last 10 that I've seen. You beat Denver. You beat Houston twice in Houston. Who shows up this game? Right? I mean, again, what are you playing for? What is the point? Right? So, oftentimes you'll see the Lakers, after they get some good wins, it's the second they get the opportunity, they revert back to the bullshit. And that's what I'm checking for tonight. You got two good wins. I get it. LeBron especially, you're 45 years old or whatever. I get it. But you need these games. So who's going to show up? And I'm super interested to see if this team ever adopts a gladiator mentality. Just a mentality. Look, when I used to play basketball, people used to hate playing on teams with me because I used to pass and everything, but I wouldn't call fouls. And there was a reason why I didn't call fouls in pickup games. If I knew I would be on the varsity team, right? So when I play a pickup game, I would practice going through all the contact. That was my thing. That was my practice. If I could get through this contact in this pickup game, I know that in the regular game, the ref is going to call that foul. And I'll be able to play through it. That's what I used to always do. And it was just a part of my warrior mentality. If I got knocked down, I wasn't going to do this shit and roll around for 15, half a minute, and then get up like nothing ever happened to me. I ain't do any of that shit. I carried a warrior mentality. Now, look, I'm not saying I was right. I'm not saying I was right in carrying that mentality. Maybe I needed to do a little bit more of that bullshit soccer acting. Maybe I did. But I know that this team often doesn't show that. When you start bitching and moaning about calls, and it seems like it's always you that's bitching and moaning about calls, that is not a warrior mentality. And, that's just the calls. Now, just onto the game. I want to see this team adopt a mentality that, we're winning every fucking game. I know we can't. I know no one ever will. But we're approaching every game like we're winning every fucking game. There's nothing wrong with that. And really, the most indicative part of the team adopting that mentality is that they're changing. See, look, so the Lakers play Miami tonight. Miami is without Andrew Wiggins. They may be without Bam Adebayo. They're 7th place in the West. I'm sorry, in the East, which means they're not a really good team. But, why is this game feel as important or more important than the Houston game? I get it. We're battling Houston for ranking. I get that. In that sense, the Houston games were more important. I get it. But why does it feel like this game is the game in which the Lakers may lose? Because we know this team. We know that when this team does something good, they feel like they have entree to do something bad. If they play really hard here, they feel like they have entree to fuck off over here. We know that about this team. So that's why this game is so important. If the character of your team changed and the DNA in your team changed, then we'll see that tonight on the court. I'm not saying the Lakers have to win. Anyone who watches this channel, you guys know, one, I don't usually do pregame videos. And two, I don't trip if the Lakers lose a game here. I don't trip if the Lakers win a game there. I don't trip about that. I might start doing that when the playoffs start. I look at trends. And as of right now, the Lakers have much more adopted a gene, if you will, that says they're going to go out and try to win every fucking game. That's what I've seen from this team lately. And so, after you win 9 straight, if it's in your DNA to try to win every game, if it is no longer in your DNA to fuck off every time you do something good, then we should see them play really hard tonight. If the shots don't fall, that's okay. Not tripping about that. But we should see them play smart, hard, and disciplined. Because this is the other thing about Miami with Eric Spoelstra coaching them. The Lakers don't just lose to over 500 teams. That's what the simple-minded talking heads tell you. The Lakers lose to disciplined teams. I don't give a fuck if you're... I saw the Lakers lose to Phoenix. And I said that is not an over 500 team. And so many of you dumbasses in the comments said, well, they are over 500. Let me tell you something. A Phoenix team without Devin Booker and what's his name, right? Dillon Brooks. It's not an over 500 team. I don't give a fuck what their record says. See, that's where you guys failed. You guys stopped thinking. You know, you guys like to stop thinking and rely on the stats. Rely on the facts. Is Phoenix an over 500 team? Yes. Is Phoenix without Dillon Brooks and Devin Booker an over 500 team? No. You understand? You guys conflate facts with the truth in order to make it go down easier, so that you don't have to think, so that you could draw stupid ass, silly ass, simple-minded correlations. Stop thinking like Trevor Lane. Okay? Stop thinking like these talking heads. Fucking think for yourself. We lost to a below 500 Phoenix team because they did not have Devin Booker and Dillon Brooks. We could all, in good faith say that's probably a below 500 team without those two guys. We lost to them because they were disciplined. Because they played a disciplined game. We don't just lose to teams over 5. We lose to undisciplined teams. Okay? And what we saw in Houston was a team that was over 500. I'm sorry, that's it. We lose to disciplined teams. My fault. But what we saw in Houston was, in my opinion, and they spoke about it in the telecast, I believe we saw a Houston team that was over 500, uber talented, and not very disciplined. I don't think that team is very disciplined. They got some other shit going on in that organization. Because what they do on the court doesn't make sense. But I digress. So tonight against Miami, what you have is a disciplined team. Eric Spoelstra coaches a disciplined team. And it's okay if the Lakers play disciplined too. If they are the team that they've shown to be these last 10 games, because they played some really good competition these last 10 games. And furthermore, not all of our players played well. There were games where Luka, I don't give a fuck what his stats were, he didn't play well. Austin Reeves didn't play well. What we have seen is a resurgence from DeAndre Ayton. And if you watch my last video, I told you he needs to be our number 2. I'm not saying he's our number 2 best player. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he needs to be our number 2. And I'm going to make a video right after this telling you why. This is the other thing. I want JJ Redick to recognize that this team can't go 6-minute stretches where Luka is shooting 7 to 10 times and missing 7 to 10 shots. Your offense has to be more than that, right? So, the offense should be predicated around getting a good shot, not getting Luka a shot. Predicated around getting a good shot, not getting Austin Reeves a shot. Okay? And in that first quarter, it looks like the offense is predicated around getting Luka a shot. Well, what happens when Luka ain't on? When his shot is off? You see, you can't sacrifice 6 minutes of a game behind getting one player off. And that is why when you have no offense, it is super detrimental to your team. You know? I'm just saying, JJ Redick needs to do a little bit more about that. He needs to do a little bit more. So, again, going into this game, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how the Lakers respond. If it is now in their DNA to challenge and put forth effort every fucking game. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Luka. If his shot is not going, I want to see him do other things. He's more than capable. You know, furthermore, I'd like to see JJ Redick, instill an offense in which he could do other things, in which the team has a chance to get off. And that's really all I'm looking for. I'm looking for a character change in the team. I'm looking for Luka to be just a little bit more a distributor, during portions of the game in which he may be off. I'm looking to make sure that the Lakers make their effing free throws, man. I mean, Luka missed 3 in a row. Then Jackson Hayes missed 2. Man, that shit hurts. The higher you go, that's going to hurt more and more. I like to see Jackson Hayes, Luke Kennard, and Jake LaRavia play better. I want to see them come out of their funk. If they ever do that, man, who knows what? Sky's the limit with this team. Of course, that has to happen in conjunction with DeAndre Ayton, in my opinion, right? So you have Luka's a constant, LeBron's a constant. Okay, I'm only gonna go over Luka, LeBron, DeAndre Ayton, and Austin Reeves. Luka's a constant, LeBron's a constant. I'm not worried about them and what they'll put up. Your X factors are DeAndre Ayton and Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves, I think we don't know what he is until the playoffs. We have no idea. We're going to have to wait and see who shows up. And again, it's what Austin Reeves does is contingent on what DeAndre Ayton does. Because if DeAndre Ayton shows himself to be the number 3, that moves Austin Reeves to the number 4. And Austin Reeves is the number 4. Could be awesome. Austin Reeves is a number 2. It's a problem. This team is not going anywhere with him as a number 2. So those are the type of things I'm looking for. It feels like the team is starting to grow and starting to develop, starting to evolve. And if that's happening, it's a super important, really fun time to observe. Anyway, this is Pure Uncut Lakers. Please like and subscribe. I'll hit you later.